Spring practice in full swing for SMU, and new coach Chad Morris joins us here tonight. Coach, what's the biggest challenge in installing kind of a new culture and a new attitude at SMU, a program that struggled here recently?
Well, you know, really, it's gone really well, Mike. These guys have really bought into what we're doing, the new staff, and the tempo of practice has probably been the biggest challenge for these guys, because once they start, it's 22 periods of just all out, just moving. I mean, there's constant movement all practice long. So that's been the biggest.
Of course, you are Mr. Tempo. That was your MO at Clemson. The big guys, I'm guessing, are the ones who are learning in a hurry what kind of shape they have to be in. Has that been a little shock for them?
It has been. But they're also seeing how we wear a defense down as well. And so when they see the big guys on the other side of the ball are wearing down just as they are, you know, it gives them a little bit of a leg up and a little bit more of a pride issue. But they're understanding kind of what we're wanting, how we're going to work and how we're going to do things. It's proven. We've been successful everywhere we've ever been running it, and that's not going to change. You're
a proud Texan. I know, very happy to be back home now, and you've emphasized a lot your high school experience as a Texas high school head coach for 16, 17 years. What's it been like to reconnect? Not that you ever totally lost touch, but to reconnect with a lot of those guys.
Well, the interesting thing's been, since being away from Texas the last 5 years, just the contacts and the relationships that guys would still follow. Me being a Texas high school coach would follow us at Clemson, and the success that we had at Clemson and the texts that I would get throughout the course of this season of congratulations and of everything we've done. But to be back from December 1st to where we are now today has been remarkable. I mean, these guys, because I'm a Texas high school football coach, and I take great pride in that, but these guys, they want one of their own to succeed. And our office has been filled with high school coaches coming up and watching spring ball and talking ball with our staff. And so that's been great to get these guys back and rekindle those relationships.
And if they want you to succeed badly enough to send some of their best players to SMU, who are you to object, right?
No, absolutely not. You know, our recruiting starts right here in the DFW area, and you know, we signed 22 players from the state of Texas this past year, and extremely proud of that, and proud of what these high school coaches stand for in this state.
You seem like a guy who's just destined to be a football coach, but I know there was a time earlier in your coaching career where you wondered if this was the path that you were going to take. You went in a number of different directions, right?
I did. You know, I went to Texas A&M, minored in math and majored in math and minored in statistics, and really was wanting to get in the actuarial field. And got engaged to my wife, Paula, and she had a year left to finish. And during that time, outside of my parents being instrumental in my life and a role model in my life, was a high school coach that just so happened to teach math. And so I thought, well, I can do this. I know I can go out and teach and coach. I've been a part of athletics my entire life, and I'll do that and continue to take the actuarial exams. And oh, by the way, I'll take the FBI exam and the fire department exam in Irving and Dallas. And, you know, my dad was a fireman in Richardson for 32 years. And so that's kind of the direction I thought I was heading. And then every time my players would come back to me and say, Coach, you can't leave us. Mm-hmm. Don't do this to us. And they kind of had my heartstring, and you know, I'm so thankful for those guys that believed in me.
Able to use some of those other skills from the other professions you dabbled with in your current job?
Well, I love numbers, and you know, I know my staff gets tired of hearing that, but I'm all about how we break down ourselves and self-scout ourselves, and it all comes back to the numbers game. And but it's really helped me, you know, from a problem-solving standpoint, from being a math, you know, loving math. You know, I always feel like, hey, for every problem, I know there's an answer. We got to figure that answer out. So.
You probably get tired of hearing about the YouTube Red Bull video, but that's what a lot of us looked up immediately when we learned you were named SMU head coach. How'd that come about?
Well, you know, we're always on cutting edge in Clemson, and what can we do in recruiting to kind of stay ahead of the game, and our guys in Clemson came up with the idea, said, hey, Coach, we know you love Red Bull, and they were doing something on every coach, and so mine just so happened to be Red Bull. And they know how much I love it, and they said, here, we got this great idea, and so we did it. And I mean, I didn't realize it was going to take off like it did, but it was a lot of fun, and our guys really liked it, and the recruits loved it.
You able to regulate your Red Bull intake a little bit? You have to watch it?
My wife is on me on that, you know, and so is So were my coaches, and so I try to limit it to a few a day.
I'm a Mountain Dew guy, so I know about
There you go.
large quantities of caffeine. You got to regulate it just a little bit. Random thing here, our guys were noticing on video at one of your practices, the play calling, the boards included Kenny Powers, Dirk Nowitzki, Red Bull, and Steve Young and Whataburger and Beyonce and different. Is there any rhyme or reason as to what images you use there? I know they all signify something. And I'm not asking you to tell me what it is, but
yeah, they all have a different little meaning to them, and you know, who knows, Mike? We may have you up there next year as well. So we have like 4 or 5 different boards
next
that we
to Beyonce,
use. Yeah,
hopefully.
Well, there we go. No, it's kind of just the feel of what we got and our guys and who they want to put on the board. But it's kind of a prestige deal, so we may get you on there.
Maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Heaven knows. I've got a couple of
You've made it big time
life-size posters back in the office. I can share with you.
That's right.
How much did Larry Brown's success inspire you to do great things with your football program?
Well, from day one, December 1st, when they were going to introduce me as the head coach, we had a reception prior to the press conference, and Larry was in the reception. And I thought meant so much to me and my family to know that he would take time out of his day to come there, and it just showed me that he wants this football program right as well. Not just the entire university, but when Larry stepped in there and he was sitting on the front row at my press conference, that was very special. And since then, he and I have developed a relationship. I've had my staff over there watching hits practices, and matter of fact, when they came in the other night after one of their wins and from winning the conference tournament, our staff was there at 1 o'clock in the morning with our football players. And so, you know, really the biggest thing is we want to know it's SMU. It's not a basketball or football. We're SMU, and we work together. And Larry had his staff out at practice the other day to watch practice, and that's been huge. And what it showed me is that if we can capture that momentum that Larry has captured in Moody and get that into Ford, we can do a lot of great things. We've got a great city. I mean, you've been here for 30 plus years, and I grew up here. We know how special this city is, and how this city wants SMU to be successful, and not just basketball, but football and everything. And so Larry's proven to all of us that it can be done, and it will be done.
I don't think you can get fined for criticizing a basketball official. It wasn't goaltending, was it?
No, not goaltending, not at all.
I think most SMU fans agree with you there. Yeah. Spring game coming up on April 18th. What do you hope to see that day? What's encouraged you so far? What's the area? You talked about tempo, you know, having to adjust to that. But what improvements do you hope to see between now and that spring game and on that day where that game is played? Well,
it'll be kind of the final day of spring practice, and really want to see the guys have fun. That's what I'm after. I want to see those guys just turn it loose, have fun, close out a great spring, stay healthy. And I want to see our fans come out. I want to see our fans come out and support these guys, because we're going to put a product on the field that they're going to be proud of. And I want to see them to come out and enjoy the afternoon with us. And it's going to be a couple hours, and we've had just unbelievable turnout in our practices. We've had as many as 350 people as our fans just come out to watch practice, and that's been great. So just excited about the last half of spring ball.
And you talk about tempo, but you're running the football, right? I mean, that's always the core foundation of what you do offensively.
Yeah, we're a two-back run-oriented football team, and I firmly believe that you have to run the football to be successful at any level, and for a consistent period of time. Doesn't mean we're not going to throw some days more than we run, but we're going to base everything out of a two-back run-oriented and do it at a fast pace and take play-action shots down the field.
Well, I know your total attention will be on the spring game, but then once that's over, you've got to turn your attention to something else that day, right?
I do. You know, actually, if you ask my wife and my daughter, I'm more attentive to prom that day than I am spring game. Let me just tell you that. And so I will be at prom. I will be there, or at least be there for pictures. They're going to have a plane waiting on me, ready to go, and I've got to be in Clemson by 5:30 that afternoon, and so that young man will be able to see me.
Your daughter's date needs to know that Dad will be there.
Dad will be there.
You may send a
Planes,
text.
Trains, and automobiles.
I
will be there.
Tweet before you take off.
Yeah, there will be a tweet go out that I'm leaving Dallas.
Dad will be there.
I will
Chad
be there.
Morris, good luck to you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm Mike Ducey, Fox 4 Sports.